Okay, here's a reminder of how exponents work. I think we all know if I have something like 3 to the 4th, that means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, right? Just to remind you, this 4 tells you how many 3's there are going to be, okay? So where it gets kind of annoying is with the negative. So if I have something like this, negative 3 to the 4th, that means I have negative 3 4 times. Negative 3 4 times. And remember, whenever you multiply a negative by a negative, which we have it sort of right here, we get a positive. And a negative times a negative is a positive. So every time we have a group of 2 negatives, the answer is positive. So that tells us this rule that when the exponent is even, the answer is positive. Okay? And again, that's only when you have parentheses, because then you're multiplying a bunch of. Another example might be if I have something like negative 3 in parentheses to the, let's say, 5th. So I have 5 negative 3's. Let's see if I can fit them all on here. 5 negative 3's. Every 2, right? Every 2 is a positive. And then I have this one extra negative, so I'm going to end up with negative, in this case, 243, if you do the multiplication now. Okay, so that rule tells us, and we'll change colors, so that rule says if this is odd, then the answer is negative. Then the answer is negative. Okay? The other weird thing that we've talked about with negative stuff is if I have, say, negative 3 to the 4th, but without the parentheses. So what that really means is negative 1 times 3 to the 4th. And we know our order of operations, so we're going to do negative 1, and then we're going to do our exponents. So our exponents mean this. So it's negative 1 times 81, which is negative 81. So the answer is negative. So when there's no parentheses, what you do is you do this 3 to the 4th, and then you just tack on the negative at the end. And that's our quick reminder on negatives. The next thing we need to talk about is exponents with fractions. So if I have something like this, what this really means is 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3, right? Which we can do by multiplying the top and multiplying the bottom. We know how to multiply fractions. So we get 8 over 27. Okay? So that's how you do it. Maybe an easier, shorter way to do it is to think it's 2 to the 3rd and 3 to the 3rd. So you could just look at those. And then you don't have to worry about writing it out in the same way. The other type of problem that you need to think about with exponents is what would happen if I said 4 to the what is equal to 16. So if you're going to have to figure out the exponent. And for right now, the only way you know how to do it is to guess and check or know the answer. So in this case, you might just know that 4 squared is equal to 16. You can check it. If you didn't know that, you could try. You know, 4 to the 1 is 4. 4 to the 2 is 4 times 4, which equals 16. We can try a harder one. Let's try something like 2 to the what is 64. That one you might not know, so we're going to go through. 2 to the 1 is 2. We don't have to write that down. 2 squared is 4. 2 cubed, we're going to multiply by 2 again, is 8. 2 to the 4th is 16. 2 to the 5th is 32. We're just multiplying by 2 each time. 2 to the 6th is 64. So that's what we want. So this means that the exponent is 6. Unfortunately, there's no nice way to do these. You just have to guess and check.